Sometimes you're still in the design and experimentation phase, and that's totally okay. Stingray has a way for you to link up directly with 3ds Max so that you can interactively work between the two applications. Setting up this connection is really easy. We're going to be using the Stingray drop-down menu, which can be found right here on the 3ds Max user interface after you install Stingray. In the event that that menu does not appear, let me show you how to manually install it so that you can get up and running with Stingray Live Link. So you go to Program Files in Autodesk and you find where the Stingray application is installed. You go into the Stingray application and you're looking for an Extras folder. Inside that Extras folder is an installer called Stingray DCC Link. All you need to do is double-click that and install it. Make sure 3ds Max is shut down, and then restart Max, and it should appear. Before we get started, though, I just want to give a word of thanks to Kim Lee at Worlds Away Productions Limited for giving us access to these exterior assets that we've been using throughout this course. So let's go ahead and create this connection with Stingray. What I'm going to do, though, so that we can see this interactively, is I'm going to put 3ds Max on the left side of my screen, and I'm going to bring Stingray up and put it on the right side. And let's make a little bit of real estate available to us. So I'm just going to change a couple of things in here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my Scene Explorer, and I'm going to minimize the command panel. Okay, so setting up the connection is super simple. Let's go to the Stingray drop-down menu, and you can see right now it's currently not connected. We're just going to go ahead and say connect. So now they're connected. All we have to do is select our assets and send them over to Stingray. We'll go to the drop-down menu one more time. We can see that it's connected. We'll just go ahead and say send all. Now, the first time you send assets over, it's just like an export from Max and an import to Stingray. If it's a new asset, you're going to have to put it in a specific location. Now, since these two are connected, we can actually create a folder just like we're in the Stingray asset browser. So I'm just going to go into Models, and I'm going to create a new folder here called Live Link. And since Max and Stingray are connected, this will show up in our asset browser. And you can see right over here in the asset browser, it's automatically been created. We'll go into Live Link, and we'll just give this a name. And we'll say Save. Now, we'll get our FBX import dialog box into Stingray because, remember, these two applications are now connected. So we'll just go ahead and bring everything over. We'll make sure that animation is unchecked. And you can see that it's importing and it's data compiling. Remember, we want to wait for this to complete before we do anything with the asset. Now we can go into the Live Link folder, and all of our material information and our geometry has been directly brought over. I can just drag it right into the scene. And our asset is now in Stingray and in 3ds Max at the same time, and it's now connected. How do I know it's connected? Well, we can do some interesting things. So what I'm going to do is just reposition my view a little bit in Stingray, and let's go ahead and make a change in 3ds Max. So I'll go ahead and select this stairway. Let's just move it. Let's say we have to make a change or we want to experiment with a different position for it. So I'll just move it out of the way and move it to a different location, whatever, it doesn't really matter. We'll go back up to Stingray, and we'll go ahead and choose Update. And what this will do is this will automatically re-import the asset back into the Stingray session, and we can see that our changes appear immediately in Stingray. If we don't like that, that's fine. We can go back over to 3ds Max and maybe undo our repositioning, and we'll just send the update back over to Stingray. So this can be done with all sorts of things: materials, object positions, lights, anything you would normally export over to Stingray that isn't moving should go over in Live Link. One other interesting thing is that you can connect the two views together so that you can get real-time feedback between what you're seeing in 3ds Max and what you're seeing in Stingray. So in the Stingray drop-down menu in 3ds Max, I'll go ahead and turn on live camera tracking. And you can see that there's an immediate change over in Stingray. It's attempted to match up as closely as possible the view that we're seeing in 3ds Max. So in 3ds Max, if I arc rotate, you can see that my scene in Stingray is also moving. My point of view is also moving. So if I arc rotate around, if I zoom in or I zoom out, it's a correlation between the two views. And it's also a two-way connection. If I go over to Stingray and I want to move my view in Stingray, you'll notice that it's automatically changed in 3ds Max. So it's a really interactive way to work between the two applications that allows you to accelerate the design exploration phase.